health costs, then they say, oh, the average Nassau County guy is making, $65,000, $70,000.
Even on that average, it's a 20% pay cut.
Absolutely, it's a 20% pay cut.
After getting no increases, it would be 7 years in a row.
But let's talk about the $35,000 clerk that is already 2 months behind in their mortgage. I'm going to go back to them and say you might lose as much as $12,000. Come on, that's not even. Is that a budget, or is that just like we're just scribbling stuff down on a piece of paper, knocking the gavel down and say, okay, so what? Knowing that it's not going to work. Because we're going to be back here in July when the county runs out of cash. This budget's not going to work.
So, and in terms of negotiations and concessions, you're not negotiating with the legislature here.
No.
But I can't, for the life, can you point out any time where there's been a give and a take, or is it just, I mean, you're saying it's just take, where you're being asked to negotiate, as I just said, against yourself?
During the
I mean,
Swazi
has there been
administration,
any real negotiations here?
During the Swazi administration, we had this same debate, and at the end of the day, he relented and he did share and give a little bit. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know Pete's going to go into one of his things, but yeah, when he put the home energy tax in, that was shared enough so we can go back to our members and say, listen, everybody, it's not just you paying, everybody's going to do a little bit to help Nassau County. But in this administration, it's only how much can we take. There's no, and what Brian and Gary said, when they say share, what's the definition of that? What are they sharing it? I mean, I don't see how, they don't even want to use the reserve fund to help us out a little bit. They want us to leave the reserve fund and come up with the entire balance. It's insane.
Yeah, we're in a tsunami, but it's not a rainy day. I don't get that either. But I would urge you, looking at some of what we're proposing, we got cuts across the board, that infamous patronage that you heard about every year, 141 hires while there was a wage freeze, the outside contracts to attorneys. That's what we're looking for. And I would assume that's what you mean, where labor would come to the plate to be part of the solution, but not the entire solution. Because quite frankly, I don't think anyone up here believes that you are the entire problem, or really any of the problem. You're the men and women that keep Nassau County going, and you've been doing it under a horrible atmosphere for a long time. So thanks for the great work.
Appreciate it, Mr. Edward. Well, thank you, too. Thank you very much. What I'd like to do at this time, if you don't mind, is I'd like to give my time up here now to whoever Mr. Smith calls, but Jimmy Carver and the other PBA guys, we have time constraints here with what time we're closing down, so I'd like to pass.
Are you finished?
I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Legislator Denenberg, are you finished? Yes, sir. You did vote to repeal the energy tax, by the way. Mr. James Carver.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think the point has been driven here by the other union leaders, but the one point that hasn't been made right here, we have closed contracts through 2015. Closed. We're under no obligation to reopen it. What we've told you time and time again is that we're willing to help and be reasonable. What has happened is that you've asked for $150 million. You've asked for anything ranging from $15,000 pay cut up to a $35,000 pay cut. You're asking people to close contracts. Be reasonable. That's what we're asking you here. What are the alternatives if we don't come up with that? You have two, Denise, you were shop steward, Joe Belisi, you were first vice president. You could never go back to your members and have them vote on it, because the law states if we negotiate something with the county executive, we're under the obligation that we have to go out to our members and sell that. This will never sell. Just like you say, Mr. Schmidt, a tax increase will never sell. This will never sell. What we need here is some ideas from both sides of the room here. And over the weekend, I hope that both of you can get together and come up with something that's not $150 million. We've been here, we've done that. We cannot do that. Am I in the middle of coming up with a counter proposal to the county? I have an obligation to my membership to do so, and I will do so, and every union leader here will do so. But what if it falls short? Then what happens? Do we still get laid off? Do we still get furloughed? What's the alternative here? We're not given any alternative except meet 150 or you're going to get laid off. That's the threat here. Again, closed contracts. There's a lot of attorneys up here. You advise each one of your clients, never open up a contract unless it's to your advantage.
Correct.
But now we're being told you gotta open up your contract to your disadvantage for
I'm
$30,000.
not sure that's the case. I think
That's not the case?
I think Knife opened to a contract when they opened it up and froze wages.
They froze it. And you know what, this is on top, we talked back and forth, $150 million, we were told our share was $42 million. So, just for, giggles, we asked, we said, all right, do we still get a pay raise? And they said, no, if you want the pay raise, that's $8 million more for 2012. And if you want a pay raise in 2014 or 2013, you gotta put an additional $8 million, that's $16 million. And they kept on adding up where it was astronomical. And Timmy, you were there, you know that's what happened. No, he said, she said. He's in the room right now. Wasn't that what we were told? $42 million, and if you want your raise, $8 million more, and then an additional $8 million a year after, and every year thereafter. Wasn't that true, Tim? It looks like he's nodding his head in the affirmative to me. Come on up.
You're on.
Good afternoon, Presiding Officer Schmidt.
Good afternoon,
members of the
Mr. Sullivan.
legislature.
You're gonna tell us what's going on in the negotiating room?
No, I don't believe
that's
that's
proper.
No, it's not my place.
I don't think that's What's the purpose? What are you up for?
Timmy, am I lying?
Am I supposed to follow people or you?
I'm just asking for line, because you
What do you ask?
Brother, I mean, this whole,
You said before that it was he said, she said.
That's
Mr.
right.
Learning.
That's right.
We're both in a room right
No,
now.
no. The he said, who's in the room is the union leader and the county executive.
He wasn't in the room when that was
He
said.
said, she said.
He wasn't in the room when that was said.
He wasn't in the room.
That's correct.
And you're taking it as gospel.
I was sitting in a room, I'm telling you what I was
You were
told.
sitting in the room and somebody, not the county executive, told you that and you're taking it as gospel. I would love to play poker with you someday.
Oh, really? So someone that represents the county lied to us? They sent somebody in there to lie to us and ask for $150 million and told me that?
I'm telling you that if it were me, if I was standing in your shoes, I would be talking to the county executive and only the county executive. Well, obviously, there's other people.
Well, obviously, you've never negotiated contracts before,
Oh, I did
so.
actually in the town.
No, yeah.
In a wonderful town of Oyster Bay years ago, yes it did.
Yeah,
We go with the whole thing.
right. Maybe that's why they took you over the coals and everything, who knows?
Maybe that's why what?
They took you over the coals, maybe that's why they're in good shape.
They took me over the road, right? I would have given up like $40,000 a year. Be 60, 90, 100 now.
Oh, not bad, not bad. Not bad, not bad. The point here is that you said something before that's telling. He said, she said, he's in the room, I'm telling you what happened. You're sitting there saying he asked for $150 million in
I'm
concessions.
telling you that all of this does not belong here. You
No,
can
no.
say whatever you want, but
If it doesn't belong here, why are you voting on $150 million in concessions? You shouldn't be doing that. We have a closed contract.
We're not raising taxes, Mr. Carter.
We have a closed contract. You should be going to what your expenses
That's a
are.
matter of opinion, I don't know that.
You don't know we have a closed contract?
How did your wages get frozen? You got a closed contract, how did that happen?
You know, Peter, you just don't believe. You're just going to believe whatever you want to believe, and that's fine. But you have two union leaders here that know exactly what I'm talking about. That you cannot bring this back to your members and have them vote on it. That would never happen. And even if we fell short, you'd come back at us and threaten us with layoffs time and time again. It never stops. That's why nothing's getting done right now. And you are willing partners on this contract. Every single time, it's our fault.
No one has, I have never said, and no one has ever said, to my knowledge, no one has ever said that it's your fault. I even said before, it's really nobody's, they didn't do it, we didn't do it, you didn't do it, your members didn't do it. But it's here.
But we have to pay for it.
Everybody's paying for it.
Who's paying for it?
Everybody's
Who's paying for it?
Everybody's. My standard.
Let me ask you, in the budget, for all the ordinance workers and everybody else, is there pay cuts in there, in the budget? In your amendments, are there? In the budget, in the amendments, did you propose cuts for all the other employees? Or the college, or the medical center, every place else? Did you?
College is all budget, right?
I mean, that's all budget. They're still workers in this county.
We get, the county pays a third, the state pays a third, and tuition.
Well, that's a little skewed now. They don't do a third anymore. We know that from the last meeting. But where are the cuts for everybody else?
There is none, Jimmy. Someone should answer you, there is none.
There are no cuts.
We're looking for.
But you're gonna do it
cuts
after
in
the
the
meeting.
What's the cut for the outside contract?
Where are the cuts of contracts? The county attorney's office. Outside contracts.